Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Mayegun. Read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast, like it, and then share it. To invite your friends and not so friendly friends, your frenemies. Tell them that Mayegun today. This young man on your screen, on the left, with Peter Obi, was one of the formidable forces, one of them behind the obedient movement, especially because of where he comes from. Today. Thank you so much for joining me again. It is brunch time with Mayegun. And as the writer for this broadcast stated, there is a young man called Balami. Now, Balami is from Borno State. He is one of the strong groups that are mobilized for the obedient movement, especially in northern Nigeria. From his profile, he is a pilot. In fact, he was recognized as the president or former president of the Pilot Association of Nigeria. Never heard of that, but right, he was. He was also recognized as one of the Arewa youth leaders. He is from Borno State, where Shitty Man comes from. He used, according to him, he sold his shares in the airport hangar business and resigned from his job just to go and join the obedient movement to save Nigeria. He was coming from APC. Among many people who rode on the who rode on the back of the obedient movement. There are those whose ambitions have been achieved, and right now they are looking beyond the movement, going back to the trash that they joined all of you in rejecting pretentiously. But it is different from this. For this young man, he's not just a member of Obedient. He's also one of the close men within the circle of Peter Obi. He's a young guy, and he did a great, give it to him. He came out and he said the reason why he left APC, at the time, was because of ideology. He found that the obedient movement, Peter Obi, they have a better chance. They have the much empathy. They have Shah gave all of that as usual, right? About how for the first time in Nigeria, the young people, they are able to possibly associate with a political movement, with an ideology, even though a lot of people continue to question what is the ideology behind obedient movement. Well, their own ideology is that they want a working system, which they believe will work for everyone. And they believe that Peter Obi is the one that could put together such team for a better government. I think that's just pretty much the ideology. And this Balami guy, or should I say maybe, well, believed strongly in that, and he preached. He followed Peter Obi everywhere, including to the Chatham House in London. Then yesterday, he dropped the bombshell. He has decided to go back to APC. He thanked the obedient movement as usual. He didn't actually like burn the house like Doyin Okugbe. But his reason for going back to APC is actually ridiculous, okay? According to the reports, they said Balami is returning back to APC or returned back to APC because of Tinubu's bright and brilliant ideas of moving Nigeria forward. That Nigeria stand a chance of becoming so great. And he believes that Tinubu is on the right track, especially Tinubu's policies and decisions in the last 1 year has shown that Nigeria has a greater future. As I write, the obedient, some of them are like, man, how many other people are still sort of pretending to believing that your new Nigeria is possible with Obi right now, that are also still going to tell you they are under pressure? There are others who are already giving excuses for him. So this afternoon, like we did for that of Ndume, let's go take a look. What and what this young man pushed. I mean, right now, a lot of them are believing that there are so many people used, not just the INEC, to make a lot of you even believe that there was going to be an election in Nigeria. And therefore, you participated. And your participation is all they needed just to validate the exercise. They just never believed it was going to be that serious. And all of you are going to take it serious, that you are going to kick them out through elections. So the moment they realized that, I don't take them serious, so they switched. And some of those who joined you in screaming new Nigeria is possible, they were actually closet agents of the establishment. In this case, Tinubu, and that is what they call strategy. Tinubu is such a strategic person, okay? By luring people with money so that they can pay loyalty to him. But when it comes to real governance, it is a total disaster. And as long as these guys get their crumbs, they just tell you to get used to the disaster. There is no strategy on how to make the people's lives better. Mobile accountancy, Deloitte accountancy, that is now sharing rice every month in order to bring people out of inflation. So when they tell you he has brains, he's a strategist. Have you ever even asked what kind of strategist is he? A criminal strategist. What ideology is behind Tinubu? Sometimes in 2023, just about 3 weeks before the charade, Tinubu was telling them about electricity that he brought to Nigeria. And I remember this. I don't know if you still remember this. Telling them how he brought electricity to Nigeria. In his own words, Baba Wiri.
I brought the electricity company all the way from America. This is the boy. Pay for the studies. And unnecessary little fundamental things. The more you put on sewing machine before you start sewing the clothes.
Before you put your sewing machine to start sewing the clothes. What does that have to do with electricity company and the studies he said he brought? Now that kind of madman, in case some of you have already forgotten, I like bringing them back before we go to that Balami. Here is another one. To those who are Yahoo boys in Edo, this is what he told them.
Turn the so-called Yahoo boys to experts in manufacturing and creation of chips that we intercept and all.
And then also, right, when it was asked, it wasn't even asked. It was the one talking about it. Electricity.
That transmission line is a super highway. For generated electricity and power. They could not even make a down payment for a roasted corn.
This is kind of talk it was, in case some of you have forgotten, right? The brain of Tinubu. When it comes to unemployment, this was what he had to say.
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and the other thing. Take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, àgbàdo, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand as consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps. We create our food. That's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development. Don't call them illiterate. Don't talk about illiteracy. Anybody who can own gun, who can handle gun, who can cock gun and clean the chamber and cock and shoot is technically competent to repair a tractor in the farm.
That's kind of the brain. And his future plan for Nigeria. That was where the Bulaba, blue, Bala blue came up. And that was Sekolu. When it comes to the economy, his idea.
If we reduce the purchasing power of the people, we can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net. Those who are not paying now, if it is inclusive of Bola Tinubu, let the net get bigger and we take in more taxes, and that is what we must do in the.
Those were the policies. The future of Nigeria. Blue.
If we we lend ourselves to innovation, we can create wonders. Here is a successful, again, a town hall, different from Bulaba.
So when they talk about the idea or what he actually had to say for himself, there is no sane person, nobody that is sane. Okay, we tell you is joining Tinubu because Tinubu's ideas and brain, and because he has the eye to identify experts. Now he has appointed nearly 50 ministers. Look at where you are. But before today, this was what this guy presented himself as. Isaac Balami. Here is a collection of a few of his escapades, including, like I said, taking that obedient messages and all of that. And I believe spending his money too in all of this to kind of show that they wanted a working Nigeria. And now they have a drowning Nigeria. I mean, come on, let's go back to during your 2023 charade featuring Balami and the Obedient.
Of course, how he will tackle insecurity, unemployment, and all of that. But he has to become president first for him to be able to do that.
Correct.
What are his chances? What are the chances of the Northeast actually going to the polls and deciding it is Peter Obi or nobody else? What message are you going to take back to the people in the Northeast about Peter Obi to convince them?
You see, His Excellency Peter Obi mentioned something very, very important today. He talked about, he asked we from the northeastern part of the country that we should show him where we buy bread cheaper than people that live in the south. There's nowhere. The same naira, the same minimum wage, the same stress. You know, we all undergo the same hardship. I say we have come of age. Gone are those days when you come and deceive us and tell us stories. And I can tell you that, you see, most people don't know that in the northeastern part of the country, there are basically ethnic nationalities that are classified as minorities in different bits. For the first time, we've been forced to come together because we are the most bruised, oppressed, depressed, suppressed, intimidated, and we've said enough is enough. And you see, this time around, let me tell you this, is somebody from Chibok. And the issue of even what APC did, or that's the Muslim ticket, or the injustice, you know, from PDP, whereby you believe that somebody from APC or, you know, will run the country for 8 years, and from same tribe, another person will come for another 8 years. That is injustice. We don't believe in that. We, the ethnic nationalities, believe that this is time for equity, time for justice, and we believe that the Igbos are also human beings. And when you talk about competence, you know, we see Peter Obi and Dati as the perfect match. These are people that have all it takes. They don't just have the energy and age on their side. They have the credibility. They have the passion and the drive. And their record speaks for itself.
Okay.
You can't compare them. And we are ready to vote Peter Obi and Dati in because of who they represent, because religion, Islam or Christianity has not, there's nobody we have voted for because we love him because he's a Muslim or he's a Christian that has, you know, relieved the pain. The pain has rather increased. So this time around, we're not doing religion, we're not doing ethnicity, okay. We are voting people that will save this country.
Here we are for the first time that vehicles will come to this Bola place. They have no water to drink. For almost 100 years, the boreholes that the government sank could not give them water. No good way, no road at all. Peter Obi is here live to help the people of Bola. We are here on behalf of Peter Obi to help them. We are now going to Bola. We are going to Bola now. We are going to Bola now. Now we have to walk by feet because government doesn't exist here. But they have thousands of votes in this village.
Give me one of it. Just one.
Labour Party. To a ranar zabe, mun zabe sinsiya an share mu. Mun zabe sinsiya me aka yi mana? An share mu. Mun zabe lema ya huje ruwan sama.
One thing you need to know, go and check, and you see these things are there. I can assure you that majority, if not all, of the people following Peter Obi and Dati, they are doing it at their own accord. Look at me. I left my business. I run the biggest aircraft maintenance facility across the entire West and Central Africa. I have my own airline.
Right.
But I left all that comfort. How many youth today, whether old or young, in all those parties, can boast? Most of them are there to benefit. And you see, we are okay with it. We in Labour Party, we are okay because you see, all the kind of money and the resources that is being shared is mostly stolen fund. Because nobody will actually work hard earn money, and be giving thousands of dollars to delegate. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. But you see, when that money is not yours, you will spend it as if you don't care. And this is money that belongs to the Nigerian people. This is money that belongs to you and I. That is why we have no good road. We have no good hospitals. We know that after every 10 years, Cameroon will release the dam, and there will be flood. What did you do about it? Years over years, decade over decade, there's no plan at all. This is the only country where people, you keep students at home for about 8 months, and you don't care. So for us, the issue of Labour Party is survival of Nigeria. We're not doing this thing. I've not been to my state, my village, freely, to Borno State, Borno South, in the last 10 years. It's not a joke. We're not talking about money. That is why, for anybody who has conscience, who is sensible, this is not time to talk about what you benefit.
Right, okay.
We're in Labour Party. We know that the party, by the way, the party has been on since 2002. It's an old party. It belongs to civil servants, yes, mostly workers. It's not that popular.
All of that is gone now because the young man, according to the Abobakus, the young man has seen the light. He has seen the light of Tinubu's policies. That is why he's returned back to come and help Tinubu to build a better, safer Nigeria. But I see why I will never be part of anything that says, let us save or rescue Nigeria. I have been there, done that. I know I am not supposed to discourage some of you who have invested so much, but you can't save Nigeria. Not the way they're asking you to do it. Not that way. Because you see the systemic rot that you have. Is the reflection of the majority of Nigerians when it comes to being short-sighted, hot-headed, and most of the time, selfish. When people join you and say, yeah, that's what we're going to do. we must face them. Some of them are doing so because they needed a better attention from the system. And the only way to do it is to go and test what you are capable of doing that they won't let you do. So you can go and try that and they will see you, then probably you can up your skill, they will call you. You can turn around and then say,